And previously, we had completed 4 poems from Abol Tabol. So today, I'll take up 2 other poems. One poem is quite short, and the next one is a bit long. So we have all read these poems. So this is Snakes Alive. Snakes Alive, which in Bengali is titled Baburam Shapure. So I think you have read these poems, Baburam Shapure and other poems in Abol Tabol. So let us look at this poem. So obviously here the speaker is addressing uh, snake charmer who has a number of snakes in his possession, and they're alive snakes. So he addresses them uh, in this manner. Now, one thing to notice here is that Sukanta Chaudhuri, he does not translate the title of this poem as Baburam the Snake Charmer. Some other translators have done that, but he translates this uh, just as Snakes Alive. So, not as Baburam uh, the Snake Charmer. So, let us look at this poem. Baburam, Snake Man, where do you make, man? Stop for 2 shakes and sell me some snakes. They mustn't have claws, or nails, or jaws, not run nor fight, nor ever bite. To lunge or hiss would be most remiss. I'd keep them fed on milk and bread. If you get me a pair of serpents so rare, with my cudgel bold, I'd soon knock them cold. So here is the poem Snakes Alive. So here it is addressed to the snake charmer who is known as Baburam. So Baburam Snake Man, where do you make man? So obviously here the speaker is a Bengali Babu, and he is addressing Baburam the snake charmer when he is passing by. And where do you make man means what are you up to? What are you doing? So stop for 2 shakes. So for just a few moments, stop for a few moments and sell me some snakes. So he wants to buy from Baburam uh, some special types of snakes. So he specifies in the next lines what types of snakes he wants to buy. Now, they mustn't have claws. So, obviously, snakes don't have claws, but in the original poem, you will remember that the word nok is mentioned. Now, they mustn't have claws or nails or jaws. So, no, appendages to harm any person. So they should be absolutely harmless in nature, not run nor fight. So they should not be at all, uh, poisonous or a kind of snakes who are not aggressive enough. So they will not run after people to bite them or fight, meaning obviously have a kind of an aggressive mood. So they would be very docile and tame and useless kind of snakes. Snakes which would be very you can say be kept as pets, something like that. So no fang, no claw, no kind of nail, and not aggressive snakes, nor ever bite. So they should not be of that type that bites people. So not poisonous or non-poisonous snakes often they also bite. to lunge or hiss. So to lunge at a person. So obviously to defend itself, the snake will do so. It will lunge if it is uh, disturbed, or hiss, that is the sound made by the snake, would be most remiss. So it would be a most unfortunate thing, or something that would be not to the taste of this person. So it would not do that a snake should suddenly uh, show its aggressive behavior. So obviously that would not be required. This babu does not want a snake of that nature or snakes of that nature. So he wants some docile snakes. So he is specifying what type of snakes he wants. I'd keep them fed on milk and bread. So actually, snakes they drink milk, but it's not known whether they eat bread also. So it means that this person, the speaker, he wants kinds of snakes which would be very much docile. So they would be living solely on, vegetarian diet, so milk and bread. Not obviously, we know that snakes do not are not vegetarian. They are carnivorous animals or reptiles. But here, the person does not want such snakes. He wants completely, docile snakes. So that is why he is saying that he would like to have from this Baburam snake charmer a type of snake who is like this, who is very docile, who can be controlled easily, kept as a pet like that. So, and would not be at all aggressive. I'd keep them fed on milk and bread. If you get me a pair of serpents so rare. So obviously, no serpent is so rare, or it cannot be found. Such serpents cannot be found. It is it would be an extremely rare species of serpent if it is found at all. So Baburam is asked to give him such a serpent. With my cudgel bold, I'd soon knock them cold. So in the Bengali version, you remember, uh, সেই সাপ জ্যান্ত কোটা দুই আনতো তেরে মেরে ডান্ডা করে দিই ঠান্ডা. So obviously he is going to show his courage. He is actually not a courageous man. That is quite evident. He is in fact quite afraid of snakes, it seems. And therefore, he asks Baburam, the snake man, to bring such types of snakes which would not be able to kind of bite or show any kind of aggression. So, with my kajal bold, danda has been translated as a kajal or a kind of a mugur, something like that. So, kajal bold, the kajal is not bold. It is a case of that transferred epithet, as you know, it's a figure of speech. So, the kajal is not bold, but the person who is holding on, using that kajal is a bold person. So he considers himself to be a very bold and courageous person. So he would uh, hit the snakes, maybe even kill those snakes by hitting them with a kajal. So such snakes would be very peaceful in nature. So he wants to show his courage by hitting uh, those snakes, such kind of snakes. So this is a very short poem. Now, what is the significance of this poem? The significance of this poem. So, poem obviously uh, now, as you know, in the Bengali version, uh, there uh, uh, Baburam Shapure is the title of the poem, but here Snakes Alive. So the translation, actually, the title has not been appropriately translated by Sukanta Chaudhuri. So at the beginning, he mentions the name of the snake charmer. Now, now, in the original, Gotadui Anto. So sell me some snakes. Here, some is mentioned, this word, which does not specify how many. So, actually, in the Bengali version, the speaker wanted two snakes. Sei sab janto gota dui anto. Now, these things are there. Sometimes they happen in translation. Now, the main idea in this poem, uh, so is that the speaker wants this Baburam person, snake charmer, to give him some two snakes, which would be totally harmless. So that is described in the next lines. And they would be extremely docile, that is. So, so that the speaker would be able to beat it to death, beat them to death. So it is a very not a very appropriate thing to do, to kill harmless snakes. But the speaker is about really he wants to show his courage by killing those completely harmless snakes. So that is why he wants these snakes from Baburam the snake charmer. Now it is a funny poem, obviously, but it has a satiric character also. Now it satirizes, obviously, that the fact that snakes that can do no harm should be left alone. They should not be uh, kind of uh, killed. So if a snake cannot bite or hiss or move about or open its shows its teeth, so how would it be able to eat milk and rice or bread? So it is almost dead. So this poem was written in the early 20s, 1920s. So maybe he was the poet Sukumar Rai was referring to the political uh, condition of the times, and he was pointing to the ineffectual native Indian entities, and they were like these snakes, useless, harmless snakes who were not capable of showing any defiance to the British rulers. So they have been compared to the harmless snakes. Now, this was a kind of a satirical work. So the cowardice of the speaker, obviously, he is not at all a courageous man, but he is in fact a very timid person and is afraid of normal snakes, which are poisonous or non-poisonous. So he wants a kind of a snake which is more dead than alive. He wants such snakes, and he wants to kill it with a cudgel. So it has nothing to do with allegory, obviously, here, but it shows the poet's keen powers of observation and sensitivity. So maybe the poet had seen that snake charmers or shapures, they carry snakes which are very reluctant to raise their heads or show any signs of life. They remain in the basket, coiled up. So they are very difficult to uh, sort of show the people. They do not uh, show any kind of aggression. So maybe the speaker knows that Baburam can supply him with such a snake, and that is why he is addressing Baburam in this way. So he wants a snake of this nature. So this is the poem Snakes Alive. So it's a small poem, as you can see, and doesn't have a lot of things to discuss, but uh, we can analyze the poem in this way that we have done. So this is the poem Snakes Alive by Sukumar Roy or Baburam Shapure. Now, after finishing this short poem, let me go on to the second poem that we have, and this is The Customs of Bombagarh or Bombagharer Raja, as it is mentioned in the original Bengali version, Bombagharer Raja. So the funny picture of the Raja sitting on the his chief minister's lap. Uh, actually, here actually the Raja is sitting on his throne, and the minister or the chief justice is sitting there. So let us, and all kinds of strange things happen in this uh, state called Bombagarh. And the name of this place is also very funny, Bombagarh. So let us read what are the strange customs of Bombagarh. Have you heard of the monarch of Bombagarh's orders to fry mango jelly and frame it with borders? So, Amshatto Bhaja in Bengali. So, Amshatto is translated as mango jelly, and it is the order of the king of Bombagarh to preserve Amshatto or mango jelly by framing it just like a picture. So it should have a border. So it is a very strange order. So why a delicious uh, food item like amshatto or mango jelly should be kept within a frame with borders that defies logic. So it should be eaten, but in Bombagar it is not done. That is not done. And why does his queen wear a poof on her head? So here, this word actually uh, it has a meaning. I will tell you now. Poof is actually it is uh, a low, compact, and heavily cushioned seat or a footstool that has no back or arms. So one may sit on that low stool. So it is a kind of a seat. So as we have seen, it is a kind of a mm, seat which the queen wears on her head. So a low, compact, and heavily cushioned seat or footstool. So this is another strange custom in Bombagar. Or the queen's eldest brother knock nails into bread. So the queen's eldest brother. So he has this habit of knocking nails into bread. So that is another food item. So instead of eating the bread, he knocks the nails, like one may knock nails into the wall. So this is another very strange habit of the uh, brother-in-law of Bombagar's king. Their people turn cartwheels to cure their cataracts. So, cataract is, of course, a disease of the eye. Uh, and here instead of going to the, you know, to the to an eye doctor, the people here, they uh, try to cure that by turning cartwheels, that is digbaji in Bengali. So obviously, an eye disease is it is attempted by the people of Bombagarh to cure the eye disease by turning cartwheels. Rub rouge in their eyes by the light of the stars. So rouge is a kind of course, something that is uh, put in the eyes like kajol. So light of the stars during starry nights. So they put rouge in their eyes. Musicians walk muffled in blankets of state. So the musicians, they uh, cover themselves in blankets, and bald-headed scholars stick stamps on their pate. So the pate is of course the front part of the head, and there they are bald-headed scholars. They stick stamps, which is another very strange thing to do. But why should they pickle their watches in whey? So pickle is of course achar in Bengali. Whey, it is something called uh, it's chana in Bengali. So why should they pickle their watches? The watches are kept in this way, or so all kinds of, as you can see, all kinds of extremely funny practices are done, are being adopted by these people of Bombagarh. But why should they pickle their watches in whey, dip them in whey, or line the king's mattress with sandpaper grey? So the king's mattress, uh, where he should be sleeping, it should be lined with sandpaper, shirish kagoj. The king sits and howls like a fox in the court. So the king is a strange person who has this habit of howling like a fox. Uh, though, as we know, the wolf howls but here a fox is mentioned. So it's a kind of a strange sound that he emits. On his lap, the Chief Justice thumps pictures for sport. So the Chief Justice, as the picture is here, as you can see, the king is howling or shouting, and the Chief Justice is sitting on his lap, and he is uh, playing on a pitcher, that is a kolshi. That is his way of spending his leisure time. They hang broken jars from the throne and the walls. So broken jars, so bottles, broken bottles are hung from the throne of the king and from walls also. And the king's aunt plays cricket with pumpkins for balls. And the king's aunt, that's Rajar Pishi, as it is mentioned in the poem. So কুমড়ো দিয়ে cricket খেলে কেন রাজার পিসি? Uh, The kumro or the pumpkin is, of course, a vegetable, but it is another food item. But instead of eating it, the aunt, she plays cricket. So it's a big kind of, the picture is here. Obviously, the kumro or the pumpkin, it is much larger than a cricket ball. And why is this aunt trying to play cricket with this kind of a big ball, which is totally unsuitable? That defies reason. So, and during those days, cricket was a popular game. So it was just, till then, obviously, India had not played the first test that would come in the early 1930s against England. But Sukumar Rai was, of course, writing these poems in the early 1920s. But of course, cricket was quite popular and he had visited England, so he was quite familiar with the game. So the uh, aunt of Bombagarh's king was fond of playing cricket with pumpkins. Her brother goes waltzing with hookahs adorned. So um, actually, um, the brother of this aunt, he dances. Waltz, as you know, is a uh, kind of dance with hookahs adorned. So he has hookahs, which are the you know instruments or things for smoking. So during those days, the people used to smoke hookahs. So that was the smoking uh, utensil or thing. There were no cigarettes, or they did not know about that. But what does it mean? Could we please be informed? So the speaker here, or the poet, is extremely surprised at the kind of, practices, strange practices, which are adopted by the people of Bombagarh as well as the members of the royal family. And the king himself is a strange person. So this is the poem. It is slightly longer than the Baburam Shapure poem, but it is also a short poem, but very strange. And it is another very funny poem. So here, if we try to analyze this poem, we would find that here uh, the poet is taking us to a kind of a strange land called Bombagarh, which perhaps uh, cannot be found anywhere in the world. It is such a strange land. Maybe it exists in his fantasy or in the imagination, but he describes very amusingly the extreme idiosyncratic acts and behavior of the king, the queen, the queen's brother, the musicians there, the chief justice, the scholars, the king's aunt and uncle, and also the common people of Bombagar. So the whole country is full of extremely peculiar and strange persons who are habituated, or they are quite at ease uh, in performing abnormal activities. So they consider all these activities to be quite normal. So this is our picture of what happens there. So no one can understand, no one has any answer to these questions. Anyone who goes there obviously would uh, be at a loss to understand what is the reason behind this kind of behavior by all these people. So the poem is wonderfully funny, and it is full of funny images, and it shows emphatically, the rule of nonsense over sense. And it is a weirdly comical world, you know, and it is pure fantasy on the part of Sukumar Rai. Uh, and as we see, that there is no logical relation between the actions and the way these people try to cure certain uh, eye ailments. So obviously, why the people, they turn cartwheels to cure their cataracts, that cannot be explained. Again, the watches are kept into this way, where how they remain all right or how they function, that's a mystery. So no answers are provided, but only the poet or the speaker here is interested in uh, giving us a glimpse of the strange customs of Bombagarh. And obviously, the visual imagery, that is the prime objective here. A series of visual imageries are presented before the readers by Sukumar Rai, and they are completely, obviously, very odd. And these people are indulging in bizarre activities. So, the oral effect, the oral or auditory image is there when we read of this description, how the king sits and howls like a fox in the court, and on his lap the chief justice thumps pitchers for sport. So the sound of the king, maybe he is singing, so it's his kind of song, and the chief justice accompanies the song with his uh, playing on the pitcher. So it's a kind of a music that is created. It's a kind of a strange music which uh, certainly is not very pleasing to hear, because the howling sound like a fox, uh, and you know how how foxes they howl hukka hua like that. So it's obviously very funny. It creates a funny effect. So the king sings in this manner, and this is maybe the poem here. Uh, Perhaps the poet is uh, trying to, present certain unusual activities, bizarre activities, and trying to criticize some activities that were uncommon, or uh, which were uh, not in tandem or not in keeping with the normal activities. So, not much of an internal analysis can be done with this poem, but the picture that we get here of this land of Bombagarh, obviously, these people are not engaged in any worthwhile job or worthwhile duties. They don't have any worthwhile activities. Maybe Sukumar Rai was criticizing indirectly the kind of lack of political activity, or a kind of maybe uh, activities that should have been there against the British rule, or he was criticizing his own country folk because of their foolish, uh, engagement, engagement in foolish activities, which were in the long run quite ineffectual. So they were not useful. So through this poem, which shows a series of funny, uh, very strange, and totally useless activities, because they do not uh, bring any kind of useful, you know, uh, any useful, you can say, they are not of any use to these people. They cannot cure any disease. They do not have the ability to enhance them in any way, intellectually or otherwise, apart from keeping them fit, perhaps, because of the uh, cartwheels and the physical activities. All these are physical activities, obviously, as you can see, knocking nails into bread, then people turning cartwheels, uh, playing on the pitcher, the king's aunt playing cricket with pumpkins. So instead of cricket balls, normal cricket balls, uh, an incongruous and cumbersome vegetable uh, uh, is used as a ball. And how she manages to play cricket, because with one thwack on the pumpkin, it would break, or it would be the inner parts of the pumpkin would be exposed, so it would not remain in a playing condition for long. So we can analyze this poem in this way, that Sukumar Rai was perhaps criticizing the uh, silly activities, or uh, activities which were not worthwhile, that were indulged in by his countrymen as such. So, with this, I would come to the end of this class. We had today these two poems. Firstly, Snakes Alive, Baburam Shapure, and The Customs of Bombagarh. So both were funny poems, uh, but of course they have their inner meanings, and the criticism note of sarcasm, it is evident beneath the superficial surface. So I end my class here. I think you have understood. Uh, Now, on Monday, from Monday, the examination is going to begin.